Am I the asshole for ending my marriage without therapy less than a month before Christmas because I'm tired of being treated like a monster because I believe my stepdaughter needs therapy? 8 years ago, I, 33 female now, met a young widower, 35 male now, who had a 6-year-old daughter, 14 female now. He and his late wife had technically been separated at the time of her death, and so he was ready to move on. But I believe his daughter needed help, and a few times before we got married, I said as much, and I was told she was just more reserved by nature, and she'd come around to me in time. This wasn't just my husband saying this either. His whole family were saying the same thing. They told me the proof was in the fact she wasn't being blatantly rude or disrespectful and wasn't throwing tantrums or acting out. I tried to build a good relationship with my stepdaughter, but the more that time moved forward, the less it seemed likely or possible. She wasn't outright angry, but she wouldn't open up to me or willingly spend any one-on-one time with me. She spent one-on-one time with her dad, but at a certain point, when he and I had our first child, this also changed. Once I was pregnant with our first child, her behavior did change. She started getting angry, started cursing at me, and yelling at her dad for having another baby. She told him he betrayed her mom, and she wasn't going to accept our child as a sibling or accept him being a dad to someone else's baby. After I gave birth, my husband did put my stepdaughter in therapy, or so he told me, and he said he realized help was needed. But when I was pregnant with our second child, I found out this wasn't really true. He instead took her to classes that were supposed to prepare kids for being an older sibling and was meant to help get them excited for a younger sibling. This was going on for months before I realized, and he argued at the time, that it was a form of therapy. I started speaking up more about my stepdaughter needing therapy, and it was at that point my husband and his family were acting like I was some monster. They asked me why I kept trying to force the issue and why I couldn't accept her the way she was. While all this was going on, I never left her around the kids. She was also moving stuff and hiding stuff on me whenever she was home. She moved, hid the baby bottles, my phone charger, diapers, my phone, and many other things, even food. She would say in front of the whole family that she hated the kids and wished they had never been born. But they were shocked and didn't know what to say to me when I said she needed therapy. They said they felt like I was saying there was something wrong with her or saying she was a monster. I told my husband actual therapy was needed or I would be done. He told me I needed to trust him as he's her parent and he knows her better than I do. Thanksgiving was my final straw. She told several of her cousins that she was going to break all her siblings' toys and she was going to make sure they were so fucked up from this Christmas because she hated them and wanted them to pay. I wasn't the only person who heard this, but I did insist that was exactly why therapy was needed, because she was bragging about wanting to upset her siblings. Yet again, I was the monster though. Even my husband refused to accept she needed help. I was so tired of being the monster because I believed my stepdaughter needed therapy, and a lot of therapy at this point. That night, I slept on the couch, and the next morning I told my husband I was done. I waited for the next day because I asked my parents if me and the kids could say, and they didn't get back to me until very late. My husband wasn't expecting me to say it was over, but I told him I was done and I explained why. I have already filed for divorce, and to my husband will be ex, and his parents, that is the worst thing. They keep making a point out of leaving before Christmas, and we never even tried therapy with my husband. Christmas and not going to therapy have been sticking points, but I wouldn't go with him after everything. He already lied to me once. He and his family have been calling me a monster, and his daughter is giddy about terrorizing our children, which he has zero issue with. Am I the asshole?